Hi, everybody. This is Kira Lescu of the Eagle Institute. Welcome. So glad that you could be here today. And I'm so excited to be doing today's meditation on embracing your own magnificence. So, just a few things before we start off. First of all, we do this live stream every month on the first Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is this time. Next, I try to do meditations that are things that are important for us to really succeed in a professional context. But because we're one person, we're one human being, we bring ourselves everywhere. These things apply no matter what we do in life because there's just one of us. I mean, we may express different aspects of ourselves in our work life, in our personal life, but it's still one person. It's still one set of feelings. It's still, the influences from work affect our personal life. It's all integrated. Which brings me to another really important aspect about talking about your magnificence. I really want to put this in perspective from a mindfulness perspective and a consciousness perspective. Now, we live in a world of duality. Everything is both positive and negative. So everything in life is either dualistic, it's black and white, and in most cases, things are actually a scale where on one end we have darkness and the other side we have light. So think about your breath. You have an in-breath and an out-breath. And think about light. You have daytime and nighttime. And think about seasons. Now, you may live in a place in the world where there aren't a lot of seasons, but you'd have dry season and wet season, and places where are further towards either the North or the South Pole, you would go through the seasons in terms of 4 seasons. So everything in life is cycles. Everything is like one side and the other side. So when we're embracing our magnificence, it is in context of it being part of the whole human being of who you are. And what tends to happen with people is that they get stuck in certain segments for whatever reason. But life will continue to pull you out of that and bring you into the other areas until you fully integrate it, which means that you can handle and not get stuck in any one area. So if you aren't fully living and embodying and demonstrating your magnificence on a regular scale, some of the things that we're going to talk about today are really going to help you to do that. But understand that even when you do that and you fully are able to embrace your full magnificence, there'll be times when you're not there. But by knowing that you have it and that you own it, that you cannot get stuck in those times when you're maybe not at your best, maybe you're at your worst, maybe you're embarrassed or, regret, or maybe even shame or anger or frustration or any of those things for something that you've done, or maybe when you think you've done or that you haven't done, you can let that stuff go and get back on to being magnificent. So as a human being, there's 2 aspects to your magnificence. First of all, just the nature that you were born, you are magnificent. You are part of the creator, however you call that, whether you call it the God, universe, divine. Maybe you have a specific name for a specific faith or religion you're in. In terms of Buddhism, which mindfulness is not Buddhism, but it does come out of that lineage and that understanding of the world. They call it your Buddha nature, where you are fully amazing, fully divine. And every person, no matter what they look like they're doing in this life right now, has that seed within them. So even people you think they've done tremendous atrocities, there is a part of them inside that has that magnificence. They might not be embodying it, they might not be demonstrating it through their actions, but it's still there. And that's really important to remember, because when you're trying to embrace your own magnificence, just remember that because that part of you is connected and that comes from source, God, universe, however you want to call it, that magnificence is part of you. And the other aspect is, because we are each unique and individual human beings, there are certain things about you in particular, and me and everybody else, even the people that really bug you, that they have that are magnificent. So I'm going to give you an example. So I knew someone in a business context that I did not share the same values as this person, and there were things that he did that, I was in a lot of respects kind of horrified by. But he had some skills at, being able to understand things and being strategic and being able to really get to the truth of a situation and look at things in innovative ways that were absolutely brilliant. So even though I didn't see him as being completely amazing person in a lot of respects, he was magnificent in those individual respects. So I have those things where I am individually magnificent. You have those things where you are individually magnificent, and so does everybody else. And that's a really important thing to remember. It can really help you get along in life, especially if you're having a hard time with a particular, and especially if your own pain points or challenge points are being challenged by someone, or that you feel like you're getting the worst of them. Remember that you have a part that's magnificent, and so do they. But you have no say in whether they're embodying their magnificence, but you do have 100% say if you are embodying your own. So one of the biggest challenges we have when we don't embody our own magnificence is that we can look for it outside of ourselves. And I'm going to ask you a few questions that will kind of help you get at where you are at as an individual in terms of embracing your own magnificence. And after that, we'll start to look at why that's relevant. And once we've gotten through some of these questions, we're going to do a meditation at the end, and then I'll do a little wrap up. And if I see any questions on the chat, if I can figure out how to get there, I'm not just still learning how to do this, I'll answer them for you. And if I can't do it at the end, I'll make sure that any questions that are there, I'll put them in the notes, or you can shoot me an email and I'll make sure that I answer them for you. So here goes with the questions. What things can you do really, really easily that others can't, or that you get really frustrated when other people can't do them because you're just like, oh my goodness, this is just so obvious. This is so easy. Come on, there's got to be some stuff. I know in my life, there have been many things, especially when I was younger, that I just took for granted that I could do very easily that other people were really challenged with. And I would look at things that other people could do really easily and that I couldn't do easily. And I'd feel, I'd feel bad about myself because I wasn't understanding that there were other things that I was doing that were just so easy for me that I didn't even know that they were a skill or a talent or an area of my life where I was magnificent. I just thought everybody could do those things. So look to those things. And if you're not sure what they are, ask people around you. Ask for some feedback or pay attention. This is even better. This is a more mindful answer, is not looking outside of you for answers, but looking inside. As you go through the day, what is it you're doing that you find, oh my gosh, this is just so easy? And then look around and see, are other people finding these things easy, or is this part of your own magnificence? So question 2, what do you do when it seems like there's just time's just disappearing? And what I mean by that is when you're doing things that you're completely in the moment, like you sit down and you're doing something and all of a sudden an hour's gone by, or 2 hours or 3 hours, and you're just relaxed and things are going easily, and you might even be in the state of flow. That's a whole other video. So I think I have one on my YouTube channel on that one. So check that one out. But it's just easy. Stuff just happens, and it's easy. So these aren't necessarily a point of magnificence, because anything that we do where we're fully engaged and relaxed will put us in a state of flow. But for many people that aren't in a state of flow easily, it will be things where they are expressing their magnificence. So not a one-to-one. I have things that I do where I can be in a state of flow where people around me would definitely say you're not magnificent at that. But most of the things, especially when you're first starting to pay attention to this, will be things where you are magnificent. So look to those things. Third question is, when do you really feel joy? When do you really feel like, no, I don't mean excitement or passion or enthusiasm, I mean joy. When do you feel that happiness that is just easy and it's beautiful? Fourth question, how well do you accept compliments? And what do you do when you get a compliment? And this can be really one of the best indicators of whether or not you are embracing your own magnificence. Because when you are getting a compliment from someone, most people have one of two reactions. The first is they refute it. They're like, oh, no, that's not me, or da, 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 da. And secretly, they're hoping that that person will maybe repeat it or maybe feel really embarrassed. This actually happened to me the other day, and I was kind of surprised by it because I've been really working on embracing my own magnificence. But I was at a meeting and someone, introduced me for something that I was going to speak on, and I thought that they were like way over the top and maybe gone a little bit too far. And, that was me not embracing my own magnificence in that moment. Maybe slightly exaggerated, but not that much. So it would have been best and easiest if I just said thank you and accepted it. So where the other aspect of that is if you are saying, no, that's not me, that couldn't be me, or you must have me confused with somebody else, or you're like, you want to really, really hear more of it. Oh, really? People kind of fish for compliments. That is probably a true place of magnificence for you, but you're not fully owning it. So you need reinforcement, or you're looking for outside of you for someone to tell you that you're good at something. When you are fully owning your own magnificence, whether it's a particular skill or just that general magnificence, you don't need other people to tell you that you're good at it. You don't need to brag at it. You don't brag at it. You don't need to justify about it. You just are in that place of owning it. And you can just say thank you. And that's actually what humility is. It's actually embodying humility, is that we know that we're good at things. We don't feel the need to prove it. You can just own it. And that gives you a tremendous amount of confidence. So if you're working with other people, and whether maybe you're going for something, it's a stretch goal for you, or you're negotiating for something, or someone's put you in a position where you feel like maybe you have to defend yourself or you have to stand up for yourself. This can happen a lot of times in a lot of different contexts. When you truly own your own magnificence, you can stand your ground from a place of mindfulness, from a place of being present, from a place of being calm. And you don't have to prove yourself in any way. You can also handle it very easily when others don't value you or others don't see who you are. And you know what? Not everyone will. You can also really handle it when your own brilliance and magnificence causes jealousy in other people. And people are really funny. Like sometimes, they will actually try to take you down when you've done things well. They will actually put you down when you've done a good job at things. Who knows what trigger points of theirs that are getting pushed by your own success, but we all push each other's buttons, right? So if somebody else is doing that, look to yourself. When you're looking to yourself for who you are, then they can be however they are, and it's not going to be hurtful or not that hurtful to you. And you can get over it really quickly or just not even take it in at all. So look at those 4 questions. If you didn't have time to get through it or it was kind of going through fast, make sure you go back, rewind it, listen to it, and think about it, because those things will really, really help you. Now, there's one further thing I want to cover before we go into a short meditation that I'm going to teach to help you get in touch with your own magnificence. And to me, this is one of the most powerful and beautiful and amazing exercises you can do to heal yourself on many levels, but especially to really get in touch with how magnificent and wonderful you are as a human being. And this exercise is made popular by Louise Hay, who's an amazing lady. And if you haven't heard of her, she's the founder of Hay House. And I've learned this exercise over the years in many places, not just from her, but it is in her books. That's why I wanted to mention it. And it's called the mirror exercise. So get a mirror, and it's best if you have one where you're either really close to it so that you can look yourself in the eye, or that it's small enough that you can look yourself in the eye. And sorry, I meant to bring a mirror today when we were doing this, and I forgot. I got a little hung up on technology and getting technology working. But get the mirror, look yourself in the eye in the mirror, and whatever your name is, say, I love you. So for me, I would say, Kira, I love you. And it's really important that you actually look yourself in the eye while you're doing this. Look deeply into your own eyes. And you may have a variety of reactions to this. You might start to cry. You might feel really emotional. You might feel angry. You might feel soft. You might feel beautiful. You might feel a whole bunch of things. But if you do feel negative emotion, like if you do feel sad, if you do cry, if you do feel angry, something like that, that's okay. It's because you haven't been acknowledging yourself, and we all have kind of parts of our consciousness until we're fully enlightened. And one of those parts is just having a hard day. It's feeling a rough time. So just embrace that part of you. And you may be surprised. You might have to do it a few times. You may have to do it for months, but you will get to a place where you can look yourself deeply in the eye and say, I love you. And it just feels lovely. It feels beautiful. It feels amazing. So challenge you to do that exercise. And I used to do it every day, and I just remembered it because I was going to be teaching this today. So I'm making a commitment to myself that I'm going to start doing that exercise every day, because it really is a wonderful exercise. And if it's challenging and there are tears and you do need Kleenex when you go through it, keep at it. Because on the other side of it is this most amusing, most amazing, beautiful feeling that you can generate for yourself. So let's get started with today's meditation. So let's begin by sitting in a chair or laying down on the ground. And the most important thing when you're sitting in the chair is your shoulders are over your hips. Hopefully, I know you can only see the top part of my body here, but you can see how I'm leaning against the chair and my body's upright and my head is straight. I'm not leaning to one side or the other, and it's as erect as possible. So I'm not leaning back or forward. I'm not hunched. I'm not really arched back. So neutral. If you can't do this, do it to the best of your ability. With practice and over time, you will be able to do it. If you need pillows to support you, whether it's under your legs or behind your back, do that as well. So just give you a moment to settle yourself into a comfortable position. And now bringing your awareness to your breath. And as you inhale and as you exhale, just notice the quality of your breath. Notice whether you're straining to breathe or whether it flows out easily in and out. And noticing, are you breathing shallow? Are you breathing deep? Are you using mostly one lung and not the other? Or are they even? Are you breathing into the upper part of your lungs or to the bottom part of your lungs? Or both? Or maybe you just can't tell. That's okay too. Just the act of looking and paying attention will actually calm the breath and make it deeper and more relaxed. And just spending a few minutes here, the breath being relaxed. Inhalation relaxing, exhalation relaxing. Using the breath to focus your mind. If you have thoughts of other things, just let them go. Just be gentle with them and allow your focus to come back to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And as you breathe, coming to a calmer state, coming to a more grounded state, coming to a more present state. And just being where you are right now in this moment, listening to my voice and with your breath. And now bring your focus to your heart, to your physical body, to the area around your heart. And notice any sensations that you may feel there, whether it's a physical sensation, or maybe it has an emotional component, or maybe both. And really tuning into the feeling that you feel within your heart. And now generating a feeling of love. So the ideal way to do this is to feel love for yourself. If you can't do that, think of a time for something else that makes you feel love. Maybe it's with an animal or a pet. Maybe it's with a baby or a child. Maybe it's for nature. But pick something where you feel real love. And maybe it's a memory that you had of a certain time in your life where you felt love. Not that somebody else loved you, but that you felt love. And bring that feeling into your heart as you inhale and as you exhale. And with each inhalation breath, allow that feeling of love that you feel for yourself to grow. Taking in, even if it's just a minute amount, a little bit deeper of the love that you felt for yourself in that situation. And really feeling the connection with your heart and your own love. Feeling that feeling of love in your heart. And if you're remembering a specific event, making sure that you're focusing on the feeling of what the feeling did for you, and trying to center that feeling in the location of your physical heart within your body. And keeping your breath soft and relaxed, focusing on that feeling of love for you. Now I want you to imagine a small version of yourself, maybe a couple centimeters to 10 centimeters high. If you're American, that's just under an inch to 4 inches high. And put that version of you inside your heart. And feel that love that you have for yourself inside your heart and pouring all over that small version of you. And inhaling and exhaling as you do that. And showering you with love inside your own heart. And really being in touch with the most loving feeling that you can find for yourself right now. And as you continue to hold that full feeling, think of at least one thing about you that you think is magnificent or might be magnificent. Think of yourself doing that thing. Visualize yourself doing that thing, or feel what it feels like in your body, like kinesthetically. Touch. What does it feel like when you do that thing? And how does it make you feel? And embrace that feeling deeply inside your heart. Really hold that feeling inside of you. And embrace that quality of magnificence that is yours. Feel that feeling of love. Feel that feeling of love that you have for yourself as you visualize that aspect of you that embodies your own magnificence, that embodies that thing that you have that is uniquely you. And you can continue holding that same aspect of you, or you can pick another one and embrace that quality of magnificence. Feel that feeling in your heart and really embrace within your heart that feeling of magnificence where you can feel it and you feel that love so deeply. And keep it inside your heart. Keeping your breath soft and relaxed. And really embracing deeply that aspect of you that is magnificent. And we will do one more here. Think of one more thing that you think where you embody magnificence, or even if you're not sure, where you think you might embody magnificence. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be as simple as, I'm really good at making strangers feel good about themselves. I'm really good at making small talk in a line and making someone smile. If you have that, that's an incredible gift and it's magnificent. Maybe it's performing in some way. Whatever it is, embrace that aspect of you. Connect with it deeply and put it in your heart with a little version of you, and shower that aspect of you and the little version of you that's in your heart with love. And now letting go of any visual images that you've been working with or any kinesthetic feelings that you have been working with. And bringing your awareness back to your heart, to the area around your heart. And feel love as deeply as you can in your heart. And if you can't find much there, or it doesn't seem like there's much there, or maybe it feels blank or empty, or maybe it feels like anything but love, that's okay. The act of looking for it actually creates it. And you can go back and keep adding to this feeling, and it'll grow over time. So finding what's there, or actively creating that feeling of love in your heart. Feeling that feeling of yourself, of love in your heart. And as you inhale, feel the love. And as you exhale, feel the love. And feel it growing. And even if you don't feel it growing, set the intention right now that you will allow the love in your heart to grow throughout the rest of this meditation and throughout the rest of your life. Feeling that connection of love in your heart. And now dropping the awareness of love that you have in your heart and bringing your focus back to your breath. And notice what has changed in your breath, if anything. Noticing the quality of your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Noticing the ease or possibly the difficulty with which you inhale and exhale. Bringing awareness to breath, which is our life. We can go days without food, days without sleep, days even without water. Not that many, but some. But we're seconds or minutes without our breath. Breath truly is what keeps us alive and keeps us animated. So just feel the love and send appreciation to your breath for animating your life, for animating you, for keeping you alive. And allowing that breath to be easy. Just as easy as claiming your own magnificence was. Taking a couple more breaths deeply. Inhaling and exhaling. And then open your eyes. Bring your awareness back to the room. If you want to, rub your hands together to bring your focus back into the room and your awareness. You can also rub your legs or your arms if you feel like you've really relaxed, but just starting to focus and starting to wake back up again. So I hope that you really enjoyed the class today on embracing your own magnificence and on the meditation. Use it. Go back and look at the questions. So this video is, in this class, is in a series that we do once a month. Next month, we're going to look at working with the shadow side. which is the other half of integrating who you fully are. And work with this if you can throughout the month to really work on the magnificence side, because it'll give you the strength and the power to work with the shadow side. So I think the greatest growth that we can have is through working with our shadow, because none of it's real, and we just need to remember and wake up and realize that it isn't real. But it is a part of us. It's a part of fully being human. And we need to look at both aspects. So having the strength of our own magnificence, working with the shadow, it actually helps us to live more in the positive side of life, and allows us to embody and hold a lot more light, a lot more kindness, a lot more strength, a lot more of our own power. So I really hope to see you next week on that. I'm really looking forward to teaching that, because I think it's a really powerful thing to do. In the meantime, anything that comes up for you, journal it, write it, express it. Look at the 4 questions. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'd be really happy to answer them for you. And if you want any more resources, or if you want to work more closely with me, please take a look at my website, kiralescu.com. There's also links on my YouTube channel where you can get in touch with me. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you loved it, and I'm really looking forward to our next class together.